It is 6 o'clock, everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and get started by sharing my presentation. And then I will go over housekeeping and some important things like that. And I have Leah here who's going to help me monitor the chat and everything. And also, Melissa is ready to help as well. All right, and you guys can see that, correct? All right, trying to move this. Is that box in the way, you guys? Can you see that, Leah? No. Okay. All right. So welcome everyone. Thank you for coming to the Disability Day on the Hill Advocate Workshop Series. This is the first one. I am going to go to the next slide. And if it will let me here. Okay. So I'm going to go over some housekeeping. And that first piece of housekeeping is to, let me let these people in, allow you all to turn the captions on. So down at the bottom of your screen, and this does look a little bit different depending on if you're on your phone or if your screen's a little bit smaller. But down at the bottom of your screen, you are going to see, on my screen it says more, but some of you will see a caret. And if you click on that, a box will pop up and you can make the captions appear. Once you hit that, it's going to bring up a menu where you can see the full transcript on another screen. And if anybody has any questions about that, you can put them in the chat. And you can also come off of mute and let us know if you're having trouble accessing that. I'm going to go to the next slide. So tonight we have the awesome Summer here. She is interpreting ASL or American Sign Language. And Leah has her pinned to the screen. But if you just want to see the presentation and Summer, you can go up to the top of your screen and adjust the way that you're looking at participants, like the speaker view. And there are 3 dots over Summer's, it says interpreter, I'm sorry, over her video. And you can select those 3 little dots and pin her to your screen so that you're seeing the interpreter and you're also seeing the presentation. And again, if anybody has any trouble doing that and or would need some help, just come off of mute or put it in the chat and we will help you, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go to the next slide. And now I'm gonna start with the introduction. So my name is Carrie Carlson, and I'm the Director of Community Engagement for the Tennessee Disability Coalition. For a physical description of myself, I am I'll use middle-aged white woman. I have multicolored hair. I think it looks brown in this picture or in the video. And I have a black shirt on. And I am sitting in front of it's kind of blurred background. I have a blue wall on back of me with a white door. And I think you guys can still see my little mini Christmas tree I have back there. But it's alive and I don't want to kill it. And I'm going to let Miss Leah introduce herself. Leah, can you introduce yourself, please, ma'am?
I can now.
Yeah, thank you.
I had to find my mute button. I apologize.
It's okay.
So Good evening. Thank you all for joining us. I'm Leah Williamson, and I am the Family Voices of Tennessee Peers Program Coordinator. And I work with parents that have children that were born deaf or hard of hearing, making sure that they're accessing resources and feeling supported. And I am just an over and all around, I wouldn't say troublemaker. I would say get in ski. So, but I am happy to be here with you all tonight. So thank you all for coming once again.
Yes, thank you, Leah. Yes, Leah and I do a lot of presentations together, and it's nice to do. I also wanted to address that in the chat, we have a link for a Google folder. And in that Google folder is the presentation for tonight. There is a PDF version of that presentation that has links in it that you were emailed. And there's also a text only version of that presentation. So if you are having trouble getting access to that Google folder or you don't see it in the chat, just let us know and we'll put that in there again. I'm going to go on to the next slide and go over the agenda for tonight. So as I said, this is a series. So I call this DDH 101. I looked at the registration because I was nosy and wanted to see everybody who was getting on tonight. So I know a lot of you all are familiar with DDH, but not everybody. So what is DDH? Um, and then where is DDH? That's really important. Resources for DDH. We have a couple of new ones this year. And we're also going to preview the next 3 workshops. And this is being recorded, and you will get a copy of the recording as well as the Google folder again after this. I'm not going to say tonight because it's getting late, but I'll send it out tomorrow. So going to the next slide. So Disability Day on the Hill, or DDH, for any of you who have not attended. It is DDH is meant to bring the disability community together to advocate for a better Tennessee. And it says join us for DDH 2026 through statewide virtual events, which you guys are on that tonight. In-person gatherings, we're going to go over that in Nashville and the state capitol, and we're going to go over that as well. So that is a brief overview of what Disability Day on the Hill is, and I'm going to just call it DDH from now, if that's okay. And so, since you all got on this call today, I don't even think that Leah or Melissa have seen this yet. I got this from Tom at 4:00 today. So Disability Day on the Hill, we have a theme every year. And the theme for 2026, it's been a challenge to find the right theme that really fits everything that's going on and things that we're doing. And this theme is going to make a little bit more sense as we go through this presentation tonight. But Adventures and Access is the theme for Disability Day on the Hill 2026. And I want to thank I know they're not on here, but our awesome comms team for working so hard on this and putting it together. I know Tom got it to me later today because he was making sure that the text was okay in this for me. So it was awesome to see it all come together. So just pushing that button. Okay, I'm going to the next. Oh, I'm sorry. And the logo for this, it is it says Adventures in Access in blue text. And down below that, it has some trees in black, and it says Tennessee on the bottom, and on the top it does say DDH 2026. Sorry, I almost forgot about that. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Um, and so, for those of you who have been to DDH before and the events, we have a community party every year. And the picture on the right hand side is Marshall, who is our massive, and I say that because I have carried him around. He doesn't fit in my car very well. He's a 3 foot plush goose that is our mascot, if you will. And he used to wander around the state. He doesn't do that anymore because he was uh, having some injuries from that. And he is with three of the advocates at last year's DDH. They all have they all have hats on. And it's just a really good picture to show that we like to have fun at the community party. The community party is February 24th from 5 to 7 p.m. And this year, it is actually at the Adventure Science Center in Nashville. We will have a portion of the first floor, and I've heard that there's tables navigating around dinosaurs. So it sounds really cool. I've never been there, but the address is there. The address is also on the website, which is down at the bottom of the screen in blue text. Um, and there is food, there are drinks, alcoholic and non alcoholic beverages, community, and fun. So, really, just come to the community party to have a good time. And am I missing any important details about that, Leah?
No, but I will say, this is Leah. I will say that the community party is a great place to get some of those jitters out. If you're nervous about DDH, ask somebody who's been there before. Look for a DDH buddy, if you will, at the community party. Everybody's really willing to help. So the folks that have been there before are always looking for someone new. So just don't be afraid to talk to anybody there. That's how you're building community.
Yes, thank you for that. Because yeah, I mean it is. It's a really good time to find a friend for the next day. Um, so I will go to the next slide. And DDH at the Cordell Hall building. So that is Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. The time is from 9 to 2 p.m. And that is just the time that we have set aside for DDH. However, if um, you don't, you're not limited to that time. And I know that we're going to go into that a lot more um, on the next session. But if you schedule a meeting that is not within that time frame, that's okay. That's just the time that the Tennessee Disability Coalition is saying that we will be there. I think they might kick you out at around 4:30 though. So after that, I don't know. I can't help with that. But that is at the Cordell State Office building. The address is on there. Um, and I'm going to go to the next slide and then ask you for more input. Is that okay, Leah? Okay, because there's more on the next slide. Um, so the Cordell Hall building is the day of DDH. You will have to go through security. Um, that's the first thing when you go in, right? There is a powered height adjustable adult size changing table that is on the ground floor. And when you get through security, there is a sign for it. It is past the elevators on to the left, and there's signs for it. We will have a small table, as always, on the first floor. And that is kind of right set outside the grab and go area. Um, and for those of you who have been to DDH before, we have volunteers throughout the whole building. They will have the DDH t-shirt on. And they usually have clipboards. But I think that we have the nicest volunteers in the building. So if you see somebody smiling and ready to help, they're probably with us. Um, and we will be in the comptroller's room again, which is on the second floor. And I mentioned t-shirts. Um, that is like why everybody is excited to like get there, right, to get the t-shirt. Um, but no, we do pass out the t-shirts. When you register, please do not forget to add your t-shirt size. And we will have a selection of children's sizes this year. And we're still working that out with the vendor. So please also add that child size also. The comptroller's room is where the lunches will be served. Um, and it's where the DDH day of workshop activities. And again, we are going to go into that. Um, the next two workshops, we're really going to go into exactly what those workshops are. But that's the day also to meet with your legislators. Um, and I keep saying this, but that is next Thursday. We're really diving deep into what that looks like to meet with your legislators, um, and how to find those legislative hearings, and kind of understand what those are. So that is the day of in a nutshell. And I'm gonna go to Leah for any additional comments.
So, this is Leah. One of my biggest recommendations is to pack light that day if you can. Of course, there are some things that you just can't leave the house without, but if you can pack light, it is strongly suggested because there's not really anywhere to put your stuff. And it's a lot faster getting through security that way. And so, just to kind of, it can be a little bit overwhelming as soon as you're trying to walk in. So, just give yourself a moment, take a deep breath before you walk through those doors. Um, and you'll see, is it two uh like metal detectors, all that kind of stuff? I think there's two.
This is Carrie.
Mhm.
Last year there were two, but they opened the third one up when they saw all of us coming through. So I think it depends on their capacity too, but there's usually two, yeah.
And so, and this is Leah again. And I will say that security is really friendly. They're also willing to answer any questions that you have. I think the last time I was in Cordell Hull, they asked me if it was my first time visiting. So, and asked me if I needed help getting to where I was going. So that was really nice. It was really reassuring that they were friendly and just ready for us, ready for visitors. And I think Disability Day on the Hill is one of those great days that they're ready for everyone. I think they sleep well the night before. And there may be a lot of coffee involved that morning before we all get there. Um, I will say that, Carrie said that we will be there from about 9 to 2. And I think that's a good time. And so what kind of happens is it's kind of like that little twilight time, like right around 1:45, but between 1:45 and 2 p.m., we start to see the crowd kind of thin out a little bit. So don't feel pressured to leave right away, but also don't feel pressured to stay. So just do what feels good to you. And also just enjoy it. Again, enjoy it, take it all in. Um, and just remember you're advocating for yourself and others. So you're there for a reason, and everybody's voice is welcome there.
Uh, This is Carrie. Thank you, Leah. I wanted to mention something about security also. They are sweet. They're really nice. Um, and very helpful. Um, and being a mom, Um, I learned how sweet and kind and helpful they were one year because I had a pair of scissors in my bag. From, who knows? But you can't bring that kind of stuff in Cordell Hall. They will kindly ask you to um, take it back to your car, or you do have an option of throwing it away. Um, and so, just keep in mind when I'm sorry, my dogs are making noise. Um, when you're packing light and putting your tennis shoes on for the day, because you will need those to make sure that you don't have anything like scissors in your bag that you're going to have to take to your um, back to your car. But if you need to bring um, things in, such as snacks and stuff like that, they were letting that stuff come through last year. So they, as long as they were not opened, they were allowing
Yep.
that. And I mentioned tennis shoes. Thinking about Cordell Hall and legislative meetings, usually, you think dressed up. And yes, legislators and folks will be dressed up. However, if you're comfortable doing so, we would love for you to wear your Disability Day on the Hill t-shirt that you got at the community party the night before, or that you'll pick up at the comptroller's room the day of. And just comfortable pants. And I said tennis shoes. I see people walking around with heels, and I love that for them, but that is not comfy for me. I will be in tennis shoes. And it's hot in there because there is a lot of people in there that day. There are other days on the hill happening that day. So we always like to prepare people who have never been before and people who have been, um, as a reminder that there's a lot of people that are there, and it does get a little stuffy in there. And does anybody on the call have any comments or suggestions? I know that there's a lot of pros on this call. So I want to make sure that if I'm missing something, you guys remind me.
This is Leah, and I have one thing to add is that if for any reason law enforcement makes you nervous or you're not too sure about it, please feel free to find anybody that has on a volunteer t-shirt, any of the TDC staff, and let us know. It can be discreet. You don't have to make a big deal about it. And we'll body double with you. We will go through with you and give you that reassurance. So just feel free to let us know. Just pull one of us to the side, and we're happy to do whatever we can to make you comfortable.
This is Carrie. Thank you, Leah. Does anybody have any comments about day of? Don't be
May
shy.
I say something?
Yes, please.
Hello, Tyler Samuel speaking.
Hello.
I just want to encourage everyone to bring your tough issues to the legislature. I know we have a lot of tough issues facing the disability community at this time, and it's important that we bring those issues to them. This day can seem kind of, I don't know, it can be intimidating at first, but we want to make sure that we bring the issues that are important to our community to them and let them know that we're serious about them. And so make sure you're thinking about what you want to bring up that is important to your community. Talk to your fellow community members that may have disabilities similar to yours or different from yours as well. Um, and just make sure that you really bring up the topics you want to bring up to your legislators and make sure that you let them know how important it is to you and your constituents in your community.
This is Carrie. Tyler, thank you so much for bringing that up. Yes. And we are going to dive pretty deep into that next week. But yes, absolutely. And as we mentioned, the community party, that is also a time that I see a lot of people um, discussing those issues that they're experiencing and finding community and other people who have the same issues and really taking bouncing good points off of each other to take to their legislators, especially if they have different legislators. Um, and that is one of the, I say, beautiful things about the community party also, because you really do, find your community there, especially. I've heard a lot of people talking about something and, it just kind of brings people in when you're like, oh, wait, I'm talking to my legislator tomorrow about the same thing. Um, and that is um one of the, I don't know, it's really powerful, especially when you can sit there and chat about that the night before. So thank you, Tyler.
And we had a question in the chat about interpreters. Yes, there will be interpreters there available for anyone who needs ASL access. And just remember that also on the registration form, if you need large print or braille, that we will make this, we will provide any reasonable accommodations that we possibly can for everyone. So this week, the goal is to also make this an accessible event.
This is Carrie. Thank you, Leah. And that will, um, oh, I don't remember the date, but the date will be on the registration for accommodations. And you can still request an accommodation after that. And we will try our hardest to meet that, but some of them do take a little bit of time. So that's why we do have to put a kind of due date, if you will, on that. But that's not saying we won't honor that accommodation. We will try our best to do that. But sometimes other organizations or services do need like a 2 week window. So that's why we have to put that on there. But anything else about actual day of? Okay. So I will go to the next slide. And Disability Advocacy Day is part of Disability Day on the Hill. And on this slide, on the right-hand side, there is an image of the, I still call it Levitt Shell. I know it's just called the Shell Amphitheater in Memphis, Tennessee. It is lit up a beautiful blue for Disability Advocacy Day on a dark night. They do it every year for us. I had to put Memphis in there, Leah. Leah and I are both in the Memphis area. She's in Memphis. I'm just in the area.
Leah, you
So
can play Memphis, Carrie. It's fine.
okay, thank you. I used to live in Memphis, but I'm in the country now. But this is the 6th year in a row that we're having Disability Advocacy Day. And you can get on the the website. The link is down at the bottom of this slide. Um, and places all over the state of Tennessee, historic landmarks, the Eiffel Tower in Paris, the Capitol goes blue. I'm trying to think. The Adventure Science Center goes blue every year. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think here. Help me out, people. And I'm the one who does outreach for this every year, so I should have this list just ready to throw them out there. Um, but oh, Nissan Stadium, right? They go blue every year. Um, but it's not just about the historic landmarks in Tennessee going blue. I know that there are organizations that are doing amazing things like going to the Nashville Zoo and all wearing blue on Disability Advocacy Day. And parks have turned blue. I have a massive fish tank that I turn blue and send in pictures of. So just different ways that you can have your community. We've had schools dedicate wear blue for Disability Advocacy Day. So if you would like me to reach out to your community school or any place in your community, you're welcome to, you know, do the outreach as well. But if you'd like me to, or somebody else from the TDC, we're always happy to do that, especially to find new um, partners and people to really just show support for the disability community on Disability Advocacy Day. Um, in the past few years, or actually all 6 years, we've gotten a proclamation for Disability Advocacy Day. So we will be trying outreaching for that as well. Does Oh, and another important thing about this, if you have an event, please, or just pictures or anything like that, especially if your community is doing something, please let us know. And Hannah, our awesome comms person, she will put your organization or your name on the website. And you'll also be recognized in the impact report that comes out every year after DDH. So, anyone else have anything for Disability Advocacy Day? Anybody want to commit to making their whole town go blue this year? That'd be awesome. Be hard, but it'd be awesome. No, I know it's late, but you guys are quiet tonight. Okay. Well, if you guys need anything, please let me know. I will do almost, I was gonna say anything, almost anything to help you accomplish your Disability Advocacy Day goals. Um, and speaking of Disability Advocacy Day, on the right-hand side of the screen, it is the front cover of our social media advocacy toolkit. And it has the Disability Day on the Hill logo in the middle. And it's got two circles with like lines through it that are showing the icons for Facebook and Twitter and share. So just social media icons. But one of the easiest ways to show your support for people with disabilities and get, sorry, you guys, your legislators' attention is by engaging on social media. Our social media digital toolkit includes tips on hashtags, state leaders to follow, and how you can use the social media toolkit and advocacy as an advocacy tool. I have went through this toolkit, and it is, there go the dogs, I apologize. It is laid out very nicely. There are all the hashtags that we have used in the past. And you're welcome to go through that. They love suggestions if you have more. But all the hashtags, and there is a section for legislators to follow, legislators who, like I know that Cameron Sexton's information is in there, right? So if you've got some awesome legislation, a handle for tagging him, just really good tips and tricks that we've learned throughout the years. So it's a really good tool to use, and I use it every year and suggest it. Um, Anything on the social media toolkit? I know this is new last year, so well, Hannah revamped it last year, I should say. And the link for that is at the bottom of the screen. And all those links are in that Google folder also. Okay, so I will go to the next slide then, if nobody has anything for this.
Carrie, this is
Yeah.
Lisa. There was a question in the chat, and it's a great question, so I wanted everybody to have access to it, which is, do I need to make an appointment myself with my legislator, or do we do that? And so, would you like to answer that, Carrie?
Yeah, I can. Sure. Um, yeah, this is Carrie. Yes. So, and I keep plugging next week, right? I'm being stingy, but I'll go over it now. But we are gonna dive really deep into how to find your legislator, the best ways to make those appointments, and all that good stuff. But for thank you for the question because it is a really good one. Um, so in a few years ago, we were scheduling appointments for individuals with their legislators. Um, and that is usually two appointments, right? Because you have two legislators. And with, I don't, I'm, I think there was 451 people registered for DDH last year. If you can imagine scheduling that many appointments, it got too much. So we will do whatever we can to assist you, but we are really advocating for people to come to these workshops and learn how to find their legislators so that they can make those appointments and start that interaction with their legislators on their own. It is a um, scheduling meetings with your legislators this early out. My legislator kindly asked me, which he knows me, right? So he might have a different response with somebody else, but they asked me because I just got back to Nashville yesterday. Well, probably before that, but let's say yesterday to get with him closer to Disability Day on the Hill um, because they can schedule an appointment with you now. But more than likely, it's going to have to be changed a little bit. Legislators do not get their schedule for the next week until late Wednesday night or early Thursday morning. That's what I've been told. So they get their schedule. So sometimes if they have a committee meeting, sometimes they have an important meeting that comes up where they do have to reschedule that appointment. But yes, in short, we can help you if you need help. Um, but we really encourage people to schedule those meetings on their own. Does that answer your question?
We got a affirmative. Got it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, and please come next week because we really are going to dive deep into all that and committee hearings and all that fun stuff. I think it's fun. Some people, it's necessary. I think it's fun. Um, okay, next slide. So DDH registration. We're having this workshop tonight. It is coming to an inbox or social media platform this week. Um, we just got the theme going right. So it is coming. We hope to put the information in here today, but I apologize, y'all. It is coming soon. So just bear with us. It should be, tomorrow's Friday. Maybe she'll get it out tomorrow, I hope. I'm gonna mute myself. I apologize. Okay. Dogs. Um, okay, so
This
I'm
is
gonna,
Leah,
yeah,
Carrie. We can't hear the dogs at all.
okay, good. He's the dog across the street is causing some problems, so thank you for that. So I'm going to the next slide. And so on this slide, this is our sponsorship opportunities that are still available. And I put this one in here. And on the right-hand side, it is the front cover of our 2026 sponsorship opportunities flyer. And I say ours. And if you have any questions, about sponsorships. Tom Jablowski is the point person for sponsorships. And there's a link at the bottom of this to go to the flyer, and all of his contact information is in there. But there are 6 different levels of sponsorships available. And the deadline is January 30th. Now, if you all know Tom, um, I love Tom. He's set on January 30th, but if you contact him on February 2nd, he's not gonna say no to you, but don't tell him I said that. But January 30th. However, this year, which is something I did not go over, but we do have table space at the Adventure Science Center, which has been something that people have asked about in the past. And we didn't have the ability to have that at the location that we were at. Fat Bottom Brewery was awesome, but we did not have the table space for exhibitors, right? It was a bar and restaurant. So we will have space available for sponsors to have a table and exhibit. So that's exciting. But if you would like to sponsor, please download this, take a look at it, and you can contact Tom for any additional questions. Does anybody have any questions I can answer about this? It's very limited, but I'll try. Try not to get in trouble answering. No? Okay. Well, if you do have questions, let us know. Going to the next slide. And here's our list of upcoming web workshops. I keep wanting to say webinar, but we've set this up so that you guys can ask questions, provide feedback. I would love feedback from any of you. We ideally, this was the only workshop that we did not have a guest speaker secured for tonight. We did, but something came up and she couldn't make it. But we have it set up for lived experience from here on out. And we're going to really dive deep into this stuff. Since you guys are registered, you'll get the information for the next webinars. And I will be sending out some videos because the next one is how to find your legislators, schedule meetings, and track legislation. And we do have some really good videos that were done in previous years, done by Jeff and done by Beth, that I'm going to send out. So after watching those, you might have more questions, right? And it says, did somebody say leave behinds? And this, I get so excited talking about this. So last year we started our leave behind workshop. And we're going to start talking and having that conversation about those leave behinds. And Tyler, you really opened up talking about this a lot, because the leave behinds are meant to leave a piece of your story, of your needs with your legislators, so that when they're voting on this piece of legislation, or when they're writing legislation or talking about it, they think of you and your family, and you as their constituent, right? We will have a workshop the day of DDH, where people can make those leave behinds right there at DDH. And last year, when we went up to Representative Hale's office to give him a thank you box for helping us with all of the legislation, I was giving the family, the Boywood family, and Representative Hale space to have a conversation, right? And I was out in the hall, And I actually heard legislators talking about how cool the leave behinds were that their constituents had brought to them. So we're going to really start talking about those and brainstorming ideas, but we'll also have the space to do those um, at day of, and I'm not going to ruin anything more about that. So that will start next week with the meeting and everything else. And then January 29th, what your day at Cordell Hall might look like. And um, the day of workshops also, the meetings, the committee hearings, and a lot more, so much more. And that is going to, there's going to be a video with that too. Some of you remember the video from last year. But we're going to have a new video. And I know most of you on this call know Chrissy. And I saw Chrissy popped on. And we have, most of y'all have met Melissa. And Melissa's on here too. And then I've talked about Hannah, but most of y'all know Hannah. They're doing a new video to add on to the one that has done previously that will walk through those common questions like parking. Where exactly is the adult size changing table and what you should know? Um, Either one of y'all want to give a little bit more information, not too much, but a little bit more? I see smiles.
Sure. I'm really excited. Me and Chrissy and Elena, I don't want to mispronounce her name, Chrissy's daughter, and Hannah, we're going to record video actually Tuesday. And I'm really excited. We're going to go to Cordell Hall. We're going to walk through. We're going to start in the parking area and show where people can park. And then we're going to show where the adult changing table is. And we're going to show where our tables should be at, and we'll show the comptroller room. And then that afternoon on Tuesday, we're going to go and also do a little run through at Adventure Science Center and take a video so people know exactly where we're going to be there because it's not the entire facility. So we're going to show exactly where we will have the community party and hopefully be able to answer questions that way. And then Hannah will edit it and I will send it out to members. I'm sure Carrie will send it out to community partners and we will get it out there so that hopefully the idea was to make people feel a little more comfortable, especially people that have not gone to Disability Day on the Hill yet. And I said, I haven't gone to it. I've gone to other events, other Day on the Hill, but not that one. I said, so how about we run through it and with Chrissy and I and Elena, and it'll literally be my first time doing it. So, it's a genuine experience of what people might go through on that day.
This is Carrie. Thank you, Melissa. Um, And then on February 5th, we are going to have a panel discussion with past DDH participants. And so I really look forward to that because they're really going to give that lived experience that they have. But I'm going to go to the next slide because we also have an opportunity for you all. On this page, there is a scannable QR code that does go to a jot form link. And the jot form link is at the bottom of the slide. Again, it is also in that Google folder. And I will send it out via email so you don't have to do it right now. But we also want to know what questions you all would like answered, but also not just answered, but what do you want people to know about Disability Day on the Hill? So kind of twofold. And on there is a place for your email address because we've already gotten a lot of really good questions. So if we don't get to all of them and you would like an email follow-up, you're going to get an email follow-up from me already, but I won't know that it's specifically your question to send it to you separately. And that's okay. You can go ahead and provide your email address. But there is that. Does anyone have any questions about that? No? Okay. I'm going to go to the next slide then. And does anybody have any questions? And then the middle of the screen is a blue image of an ear symbolizing that we're ready to take questions. Any questions, not just questions, comments, concerns, anything that you would like to share right now. This is the time to do that.
Hey, Carrie,
Yeah.
I don't have a question. I've got to hop off, but I just want to encourage everyone to do ask questions that you have. Don't be shy. I know this can be a very uh it can be it's a large event, and with it also being a culmination of other days on the hills as well, it can be intimidating. But do ask your questions, do speak up, uh, do if you have I don't know if you brought up about people who need maybe if they're blind or visually impaired, they need a self guide. If they're able to bring one as well through security, could you discuss that real quick?
Oh yeah, thank you, Samuel. Tyler, I don't know why I'm looking at you and saw your last name, not your, but yes. So thank you for bringing that up because that is also an accommodate, like something that you can request as an accommodation, right? I am visually impaired also, so I am not the best sighted guide, and I've been told that. So I don't do that. But we have really good guides that will help you, help anybody, especially if we know ahead of time. All of our volunteers are are willing to help people. And yes, they have been very good. Security has been very good about they acknowledge that, but they also, when people say, hey, this is my sighted guide, they do let the sighted guide go through security with the individual and assist them at that time. They're not I saw them open up the a sec or like a different section for people to walk through there. There somebody had a service animal also, and that's how they did that. So yes, thank you for raising that question. Anything else? If not, I will go to the next slide and just say thank you. This has been great, you guys. Thank you for getting on. I will give you your time back. I know it's kind of late for you all on the Eastern. I'd probably be getting ready for bed right now. Um, but I encourage you to hop on next week and the week after. Again, a reminder, I will not send it tonight, but I will send an email follow up with the slides, um, both presentation, PDF, and a text only version, along with all the resources and links that we went through today. So if y'all don't have any questions, thank you, and everyone have a good night. Anybody have anything else? Your last second. No? Okay. Well, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Bye, guys.